Hey there, awesome folks. This is Mentor Shelley, wanting to make sure that you become a better version of yourself professionally, guys. We are, it's happy Friday to everybody that either got off of work or is on their way home from work or getting ready to turn up or whatever the case may be. I just want you guys to know that I am here talking about this now because as much as I love to say that I've never ran into anything like this as far as hiring practices and what companies do on occasion. There are a few companies that we will run into or may have either run into in the future or I've had experience with in the past that have horrible hiring practices that are sometimes racial. In this particular case, in this particular incident, it is racial. And there are other hiring practices that are just as egregious. Of course, as you are joining us here in the chat or on this live, go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel or on Facebook or on Twitter, wherever you are watching this live. We are going to discuss today exposing racial or racially motivated or racial hiring practices or racist hiring practices, I really should say. I will personally give you guys a story. Hello, Still Rocks. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the live show tonight. Um, Glad you guys are here to join me. Um, but I have an actual personal story in regards to this because I've actually been through one of these employers. I usually don't share the names to protect the innocent and the guilty because I still feel like I may have a case. But that's neither here nor there. We're not going to talk about them, at least not right now. I'll just give you a brief story about them later on tonight. So let's jump right in here. The link for the particular story we're going to talk about tonight is in the description of the live. So, this article was written, of course, by John Sunholm on April 5th. It's talking about the title of this article. Of course, it's kind of hard to see because they have commercials all over this website. Company responds after a job opening with notes about their preferred white candidates gets mistakenly shared. Whoopsies. Nah, buddy. Is it a mistake though? Well, let's find out, y'all. All right. Let's go there. Okay. Let's get into this. Of course, this is it's a TikToker company job posting, TikToker commenting, and screenshots of LinkedIn comments. All right. Everyone makes mistakes at work, but there are some missteps that you just can't come back from. As a tech company, Arthur Grant Technologies is currently learning the hard way. So they specifically named the company in this article. I'm just reading the article, folks. I don't want no smoke. The company is at the center of an uproar on social media and LinkedIn after posting an openly discriminatory job postings. And as so often happens with these situations, their attempt to explain themselves has only made it worse. I wonder why. Tech firm Arthur Grant Technologies posted a racist job ad seeking only white US born candidates. Oh, Lord. Now that's not a hyperbole. Yes, it's that bad. As a matter of fact, let's play what the TikToker said. Hold on a second. You want the whole experience here, might as well go all the way into it, right? Uh-oh. It's rendering, but you guys get the point. All right. Let me see here. Maybe it'll stop. Yeah. To say the least. Let me play that again just to make sure you guys heard that right. Hold on. Whoop. No. Let's go ahead and play that again. Oh, buddy, old pal. Oh, Lord. That is not good at all. All right. Let's keep going, folks. That was the TikToker that showed that. The job was for a high paying business analyst position in Dallas, Texas, working on Salesforce and insurance claims for Warren Buffett's company, Berkshire Hathaway. It included the usual job description and pay information, along with some openly, and I do mention not to mention illegal candidate requirements. Yes, it is illegal. We're going to address that a little bit later. The racist job ad quickly went viral on Reddit and LinkedIn because of its openly racist hiring requirements. So far, they had to. The job was posted to Indeed with an internal note about the candidate's race that was obviously meant to be deleted before posting. Unfortunately, everyone involved, the note made it to the live version of the job opening. The ad read note, only born US citizens, white, who are local within 60 miles from Dallas, Texas, don't share with candidates. You forgot to not share. It's right there, folks. Yikes. You forgot not to share it on the internet. Whoever did this madness. The racist job ad quickly went viral all over the internet because as people expressed their shock and outrage over the company's apparent racist race requirements for its candidates. A Reddit user called the job ad illegal and nauseating. Illegal is correct. Well, we're going to explore that in a second. While posting screenshots to the platform that generated thousands of angry comments. It's illegal. Hereby by bike at bike from work reform. In comments, Reddit users urged each other to report the company to the federal government for discrimination, and several users, self-identifying attorneys, urge any employees reading to file suit against the company. We're gonna get into some of the compliance that they violated with this crazy situation. Every person of color who works for this company likely has standing. One such commentator wrote, and should start discussing their wages immediately in preparation for a discrimination suit. Others applauded whoever posted this job ad for outing the company's discriminatory hiring practices. Props to that recruiter for either their laziness or malicious compliance, one commenter said. On LinkedIn, several Black professionals call Arthur Good Technologies out for what is billed as a mistake in a series of since deleted posts. This is so sick, a Black woman commented on one of the posts. Said, I live in Dallas and I've been applying for almost a year. Well, now you know why you haven't been picked, because you're not a part of their preference. Seeing this in black and white is so disheartening, but reality, I guess. Of course, Arthur Technologies claimed the racist job ad was posted by a new employee who had since been terminated. I wonder. It's real interesting how that person got terminated pretty fast there. Yeah, that's because your note made it to the internet. It wasn't supposed to. That doesn't mean the note wasn't made. The company has apologized for the incidents in a series of LinkedIn posts, all of which have been deleted after they sparked even more uproar as users pointed out A wealth of discrepancies in Arthur Grant Technology's seemingly ever changing story. In its first attempt to tape down the uproar seen in a screenshot below, the company claimed to a LinkedIn user that the new employee posted the ad, but they're still an employee. Here's the post right here, folks. Say, Arthur Wellborn, we appreciate being informed about this information and offer our sincerest apologies. At Arthur Grant, we do not condone or engage in any type of discrimination based on color, race, or religion. Really? I can't tell based on that post. We conducted an investigation and discovered that a new junior recruiter at our firm was responsible for the offending job posting. We have taken immediate action and terminated their employment for violating our policy. Moving forward, we will take measures to ensure that such incidents do not occur again. Thank you for your understanding. Regards, Arthur Grant Technologies. We conducted an investigation, the company wrote, and discovered the new junior recruiter at our firm was responsible for the offending job posting. They went on to say that the employee has been terminated. The narrative didn't last long, however. Arthur Grant's story then changed in a subsequent LinkedIn post, and now nobody believes what they're saying. I wonder why. Let's hear it, folks. Let's hear it. When the initial explanation did nothing to tape down the uproar, Arthur Grant's Technologies followed up with a new LinkedIn post claiming the job ad was a malicious act by a disgruntled former employee, as seen in the screenshot below. Hold up. So you said first it was a new junior employee, now it's a disgruntled employee. Something ain't right in the buttermilk, but let's continue. Oh, jeez. Updates on Indeed post job posting. This posting was neither authorized nor posted by Arthur Grant or its employees. A former employee took an existing post and added discriminatory language, then reposted it through his own account. The moment this was brought to our attention, we worked with the job portal to remove this offensive job posting. Necessary legal actions has been initiated against the job poster. So please tell me, is it the person? So is it the new junior employee that you fired that you talked about in the first incident, or is it a disgruntled employee? Arthur Grant Technologies, make it make sense. Anyway, in this new post, Arthur Grant Technologies claimed a former employee took an existing posting and added discriminatory language, then reposted it through his own account, then went on to claim they have initiated legal action against the employee. If that story doesn't add up to you, you're not alone. Exactly. Especially as a tech company, this presents a fairly implausible lapse in data security for a tech company. Oh, geez. Yeah, exactly. In a series of comments deleted by the company, seen in screenshots below, LinkedIn users took the company to task for the way its stories weren't adding up. Exactly. Something ain't right in the buttermilk. It ain't adding up for me either. Come on, guys. Do you agree? Please let me know, because it's not adding up for me either. It sounds like somebody was trying to save face, and the more you try to save face when you're not telling the truth, the more lies come out. But let's continue. Even in a more ridiculous explanation than the first attempt at damage control, because that's what this really was, I highly doubt this new / former employee. Let's see here. This new / former employee, which is it? This post makes it sound like a disgruntled employee, not a new hire, as said previously. The employee even employee even exists. It is fairly obvious that the racially discriminatory requirement was in the job posting from the beginning and was put there by the client / hiring manager. If this statement were true, not sure. IT companies can't effectively manage access. It is an absolution. It's a absolution you think it is? Oh, jeez. Even if this statement weren't true, one commentator said, not sure. The IT company can't effectively manage access is the absolute is the absolution you think it is. The commentator added a clown emoji for extra effect. There it goes. For others, it was simply the way the story kept changing that didn't pass the smell test. Yeah, it's a bunch of malarkey. This is an even more ridiculous explanation than the first attempt, another commenter wrote. I highly doubt this new slash former, which is it, employee even exists. The company since locked down its social media presence and has turned comments off of LinkedIn and other platforms. Of course, you're gonna have to save face now because literally it's. I'm gonna give you my assessment in a second. Anyway, if anyone's looking for a new gig in crisis PR, we know of a company that is almost certainly hiring. Oh, wait, you have to match their preference. Oh, jeez. And I think that is the end of the article, folks. That's first question right here. Do you think the company that posted this will suffer long-term consequences? Absolutely. Because something ain't right in the buttermilk and they're not telling the truth. Let's start there. Number one, your first explanation may have been plausible if it were true. But then because nobody was buying that BS, you had to backpedal. I'm going to, as a matter of fact, just for those of you who may not be able to get to the show notes, let me share the article link with you. There it goes. And then I'm also going to share. Now we're gonna get down and dirty now as an HR professional. Yes, I'm a little bit loose, but I'm also not about to let this foolishness. I'm not about to let them off the hook either. I'm about to hold them to task. Now, first of all, let's be clear. Their hiring practices are illegal. The fact that that was actually written in black and white speaks volumes about what it is that they're really looking for. So, just in case you're not sure that it may have been illegal or not illegal, let's take a look at what the EEOC has to say about that. One moment. Let me share this with you. All righty. Okay. The EEOC says the U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. Okay, under the law enforced by the EEOC, it is illegal to discriminate against someone, applicant, and employee because of that a person's race, color, religion, sex, including gender identity, sexual orientation, and pregnancy, national origin, age 40 or older, disability, or genetic information. It is also illegal to retaliate against a person because he or she has complained about discrimination, filed a charge of discrimination, or participated in an employment discrimination investigation or lawsuit. The law forbids, let me stress that again, the law forbids discrimination in every aspect of employment. So, folks, just in case you weren't sure, something ain't right in the buttermilk, and they have illegal practices. Part of the reason they made it seem like they were terminating a new employee is because they are liable. Employers are liable for at least 300 employment laws, if not more. One of them is illegal hiring practices based on a protected class. So if you even smell that an employer operates from this premise, run in the other direction. That is not the place for you to be, because clearly they thought whoever posted this is reckless. First of all, who wrote that on a job posting is reckless. because that is a part of their practices. They just did what they were expecting was for it not to be shared with the public. And now that they're exposed, they're making up one story after the other, looking absolutely ridiculous doing it. And now they're exposed. And now they're on the hook. They are liable because these are illegal hiring practices. Let me stress that again. Illegal. Just in case you weren't sure, folks, here's a link to the EEOC. I'm going to put that in the chat as well so you guys can go ahead and read the rest of it for yourself. But I did just read it for you. Ma'am and sir, this is not something they write at the buttermilk and the buttermilk ain't clean. Because the fact that you had two completely different stories to try to cover your foolishness, and now you don't have any, all of your social media communications have been shut down on LinkedIn and on Reddit, speaks volumes about what kind of hiring practices you really have that we don't know about. If this is exposed, and this is just a small piece, Lord only knows whatever else what other preferences you've been practicing behind closed doors. The law enforced by EEOC prohibits an employer or other covered entities from using neutral employment policies and practices that have a disproportionately negative effect on applicants or employees of a particular race, color, religion, sex, including gender, identity, sexual orientation, and pregnancy, or national origin, or an individual with a disability or class of individuals with disabilities, if the policies or practices at issue are not job related and are necessary for the operation of the business. The laws enforced by the EEOC also prohibit an employer from using neutral employment policies and practices that are disproportionately negative impact on applicants or employees age 40 or older if the policies or practice at issue are not based on a reasonable factor other than age. The very job advertisement, it specifically says the recruitment, the application and hiring processes, it goes into detail how much that posting is going to cost that company, because yes, they have broken the law. That there's no questions about that. They broke the law by posting that, which is why they're now trying to shut down and trying to do all of what they do to trying to stay out of hot water with folks. Good luck with that. Now, that's question number 1 and 2. One of the first questions I had, I want to make sure that these questions are answered for you guys. So if you run into anything like this, report their butts to the EEOC right away. Please do. That's what the person on TikTok did. Well, I'm sure they're exposing it on TikTok, but there are other people that were on LinkedIn that I think already exposed this organization. So my first question that's actually in the show notes, is it illegal to specifically document your preference based on a protected class? Absolutely, positively. Yes, it is illegal. Okay, so that's question number 1. We've answered that question equivocally at this point. Now, question number 2. What does it mean to candidates that are qualified based on credentials alone versus the preferences listed in this company's job openings? It means that this company would rather hire based on preference versus qualifications, which means that they are missing out on quality candidates and they are illegally discriminating against quality candidates. An equitable employer would never put this preference or publish this preference. You should be choosing candidates based on credentials, qualifications, and skills and experience. Some employers don't fit the equitable candidate pool. Clearly, this is not one of those employers that fit that. So that answers question number two. They are not part of the problem is that you when you try to save face, you tried to save face with not one but two lies. First it was an employee it was a new employee, and then that doesn't go with your practices. And then it was an old and disgruntled employee that posted it from his own account. Which is it? If you're gonna tell lies, stick with one and try to make it work because you look foolish out here. Now, what are the implications for this company truly implementing these type of preferences? They can be charged. The implications for this company, they can be charged for discriminatory practices. You heard me just read directly from the EEOC's website. Those preferences can cost them, especially since it's now in black and white and it's written and for the entire world wide web to see. Because they shut down their website, they shut down their they shut down their social media accounts, but it's been copied and sent, and nothing really goes away on the internet. So they're in trouble, and they can be sued, and they can be charged with discriminatory hiring practices easily because they shot themselves in the foot by exposing their own selves. Ugh. Nobody told you to decide to be stupid. Oh well, they didn't get that memo, so they can actually be charged for discriminatory practices. I hope there's diversity as far as their workforce is concerned. If they're diverse, I hope they do decide to hold their feet to the fire and bring them to task. Because if you're bold enough to put something like that on a job description, oh Lord, I can only imagine the culture. All right. Question number 4, because I want to make sure you guys understand the implications of something like this. This isn't something to take lightly. Number 4, if companies like this mistakenly place these preferences out there, as I just said, can you imagine the company culture? It's pervasive and toxic for people that don't fit their preference. That's the be all and end all to that. If the companies like this if their preferences, because I'm sure this is not the first company, nor will it be the last that have those preferences. The difference is they got exposed with their preferences because it was in black and white and it was published to the internet. It was published to social media. But there are companies out there, unfortunately, guys, that have these type of preferences, as illegal as it may be. But I can only imagine if you go into an interview and you sense, just based on, look at who the executive board is, look at the leadership team, the executive senior leadership team, or the management team. You have to examine companies before you even decide to take a job offer with them. If their executive team and their management team all have a similar look, it might be time. That might be an indication that you may want to look at other options there. Okay, just giving that tidbit, just based on my personal experience. Now, question number 5. Do you think it was truly the company's intention to sort their preference? Yes, I personally think so. I'm not even going to ease them up based on the fact that they're flip-flopping all over the place, trying to find a viable way, and you can't even do it right. That's to show you. Question number 5. Do you think it was truly the company's intention to source for their preferences, or are they they're backpedaling? Of course they're backpedaling. Because they got exposed because of the illegalities of the practice? Absolutely. Absolutely. I personally think they they are backpedaling. Yeah. They're backpedaling because they got They got exposed. Their hiring practices are trash. And the fact that you put that on a opening speaks volumes. Do you think it was truly the company's intention, source for their preferences? Guys, if you have questions about this, if you've seen anything remotely or experienced anything like this in the job market, please put a one in the comments, or pose a question. I do have one more question I want to address, but this is as real as it gets, folks. This is not a surprise to me. What I actually there are companies like this that exist on a regular basis, but the problem is that we don't take the time. We're grateful that they got exposed, so at least we now know what type of ship they're running. Whew. And if you're working for any company that remotely fits this description, folks, please, please, please go to mentorshelley.com/consultations. I would be happy to help you get your resume ready so you can get the absolute heck out of Dodge. Okay? Nobody that fits their preference description belongs in a place like this. That's disgusting. We are in 2023. And for people to have this pervasive attitude in the job market, it's arbitrary and capricious. In other words, it's backwards and stupid. That's the pretty words for what arbitrary and capricious really means. Anyway, so if you guys have questions, or drop the question in the chat. Let me go ahead and go. Now, my last question: how should this company be viewed going forward? Like the racist organization that they are. That's my opinion about it. I could have understood if they said it was a employee that did something wrong. If it wasn't for the flip-flopping of story 1 versus 2, I might have believed story 1. Maybe. But the fact that you're an IT company, now you're claiming in story number 2 that it was an old disgruntled employee that did this. Clearly, your security is not up to par. If an old employee can crack into your stuff and post this kind of derogatory, defamatory information about you, it speaks volumes. What your security breach is that easy to break? Come on, man. I may have been born that night, but it wasn't last night. That is for darn sure. So, guys, if you are working for any kind of organization like this and you need to get out of there, definitely go to mentorshelley.com/consultations. Also, so we can work together and get your resume and get your job search, into hyperdrive so you can get out of there as well. And of course, guys, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So if you know anybody experiencing anything like this, or is working for an organization where internally they'll say this, but they're not silly enough to actually post it on the social media, go ahead and share this video with them, with all of the notes and the links to the EEOC website, along with the article, is in the show notes as well. Guys, I want to make sure you become a better version of yourself professionally, but I do not want you to subject yourself to organizations like this that will pretty much try to act like, oh, we're all inclusive, we love everybody, we'll give everybody an opportunity, but has this on their preference sheet. A very wise woman said to me, don't take no wooden nickels. They're trying to give wooden nickels and try to pass it off as a real thing. They're not a equitable employer, and they don't deserve any kind of talent. If this is what they prefer, then they need to stay in their lane. As a matter of fact, any employees that work there that are not fitting their preference description, the EEOC needs to get a call so they can report the violation that they have. But guys, if you have any questions, if you know of people that are experiencing this in any way, shape, or form, go ahead and I do have consultations available for them to get their resumes together, get their cover letters, their whole professional portfolio so they can get out of there. Also, wanted to mention, if you have young adults or you have kids that's getting ready to graduate from high school and you want to make sure that they're prepared for employers like this and others, you can go to, I do have the resource available, from Clueless Teenager to Consummate Professional, 7 steps for them to create the economic life that they want. You can go to mentorshelley.com/book to purchase that as well. It is an ebook, and the audiobook will be coming out in the next few months. Guys, go ahead, if you are here still, go ahead and like, comment, share, and subscribe to the YouTube channel or on Facebook or wherever you are watching this live, guys. I want to make sure you have all of the tools you need. So if you are in any of this, if you know anybody that's involved with this, or you're around any organizations that operate like this, run. Run. Go out. Oh, awesome, Still Rocks. Definitely go ahead, and then when you watch it, just put replay rocks when you watch the replay. We definitely went into detail as part of this whole process when it comes to being around or being involved with employers that pretty much practice discriminatory, have discriminatory practices in their hiring. Guys, I want to make sure you have what you need when you are out there in the job market, but there's no reason for you to subject yourself to this type or this level of foolishness. Oh, thank you so much, Still Rocks. Absolutely, because if there was no truth to it, they wouldn't be trying to make up different stories to try to cover their foolishness. So we definitely did go deep. I did ask some questions, but I also want you to have the tools you need, because this particular company absolutely needs to be sued. They need to be kept accountable for their discriminatory hiring practices. And the EEOC link is also in the show notes. But guys, if you have any questions, just regular old career questions, you can go to mentorshelley.com/contact, where you can leave me a voicemail or an email message. I am more than happy to return that voicemail or email within 24 hours, guys. I want you to become a better professional, but please do not, if you're able to, not subject yourselves to these type of employers with discriminatory hiring practices. All right, guys, take care. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Go ahead and share this with your friends if they are going through something like this, so they know how to maneuver going forward in the job market. Guys, take care. You have a good one. Bye.